Hey everyone, today I wanted to give you a few tips and tricks on the XY. Specifically, I'm going to start off just with a very basic pad progression, then I'm going to talk about adding like hi-hat or snare rolls without using step components. I'll talk about what some modulation can do to that roll. I want to talk about what happens if we use the sum LFO on the pad. I'm going to do a little bit of minor arranging in arrangement and song mode, and then I'm going to make an outro with the tape track. So we've got kind of a plan here, but I don't have a plan beyond what I just shared with you. So I'm going to start off, let's just increase our gain to what I usually have it at. Let's just start off at 75, kind of across the board. Not kind of, very much across the board. Now I'm going to go ahead and say I'm going to claim track 6 as my pad. Let's just open up let's find a preset that's on the axis. Oh, there we go. That's kind of perfect, actually. I want to turn off the velocity sensitivity because that's going to really mess with me, and add a slight high pass. Let's just do that. I don't know. Let's just do that. And maybe I'll make it not as quantized. Gonna turn off the metronome. What if we make this an octave lower? That's a bit muddy, but I'm still into it. Okay, now I'm going to set it to the effects a little bit. Oh, it already is sent to the effects. I'm going to adjust the effects. I want to increase the tone of the reverb. Make it a little smaller, and what if we make it add a ton of modulation? I don't know. Cool, so let's just say that is our pad for now. Now let me talk about the hi-hat idea I had. So I'm going to pull up track 3, I'm going to change the engine by holding shift and hitting M1, scroll up to drum, and now I've got this blank drum kit. Cool, we don't have any of the envelopes or anything enabled for it, it doesn't look like. Ooh, the filter envelope's on though. Okay, so what I'm going to do here is let me go ahead and I will just add a hi-hat right here. I'm going to scroll down to some of my favorite ones, I guess. Let's do that. And so what we could do is, if we really wanted to, we could just use, step component trickery. We can add one here, have that happen every second time, add a multiply 3 that happens every fourth time, and boom, we've got a roll. Let me just add a kick and a snare. And just because I feel like it, I'm going to use one of my kits for this. Once it loads. So we could just have it like this, right? Where it's really, actually, what if we move that step over here instead? So here's what this is like. That hi-hat is still pretty loud to me though, so I'm going to hold shift and hit instrument, and I'm going to keep this playing while I adjust the high-pass filter. And I've changed my mind. I've been lately messing with having the drums kind of be in the middle and not having the kick be the lowest frequency. So I'm actually going to take off the high pass filter from that pad, and I'm going to add it. Oops, I'm going to add one to my drums. Oh, interesting. So let's actually just let's do that every fourth time. Let's do this every third time. What happens if we do that? Nope, that's too big. Okay, so that's like the idea, right? And I got a bit carried away there because the whole point of this is not to use these step components. So here's what I'll do instead. I'm going to take this hi-hat. I hold down that key. If I hit M2, it'll copy it. If I hold down C# and hit M3, it'll paste that right here. Same exact sound. But I'm first going to change the fourth encoder to make this loop. Now, if I change the third encoder, which is the out point, I can control the speed of the loop. So let's try this. Let's make it so that this lasts the entire time. And let's make it a little faster, actually. And if we want to make it a little bit different, we could turn on an LFO, and here's what I'll do. I'm going to turn on a random LFO, and I'm going to, generally for the track, have the amount be completely off. But for this step here, where we have our little hi-hat roll, let's make it so that it's very fast. And what I want to do, you could have it change the pitch, which would be pretty interesting sounding, to be honest. Here, let's hear it. Oh, right, because it's on this step only. Oh no, did I just get double triggered? Oh man, classic move. Okay. So that's pitch. We could also, though, do the out point, which should change the speed of it as well. And let's make this a little slower. So now we have a kind of randomized hi-hat roll, right? And, you know, if we want to, we can make it so that only happens every fourth time and that it only plays every second time. So by that, I mean the LFO parameter lock we just put on it. So let's hear what this sounds like now. Kind of cool. So now that we've got a really basic beat and a basic pad progression, let's go back to our pad, and this is actually what inspired me to make this video. Okay, so I pulled up the Element LFO by holding Shift, hitting M4, and going to Element. G is gyroscope. It's supposed to change as you tilt the instrument. I'm not having any success getting it working right now. The source means that whatever source you have it sent to is going to affect the sound, or is going to be the modulation source. So if you have like a line in connected, that'll work. Right now I have it actually set to my microphone. And so because I've got it set to the synth destination, and specifically the ratio, we could hear it change as I touch the microphone. I mean, I didn't mean to hit that button, but that's actually a great representation of what's going on. So I'm going to change the source now because we're not actually going to be using that. And next here is the envelope, and that is going to refer to the filter envelope specifically. But sum is supposed to refer to all of those, but I think it also adds in the overall volume and output. So here's what we're going to hear. We're going to have sum be here. First, I'm going to turn these off. So it's affecting itself a bit. Let's make it a little more subtle. Not ideal, but let's do something weird with it. Let's go ahead and add those drums back in, and we're going to hear that they affect them. Okay, so this is not a masterpiece, but it demonstrates the things that I wanted to show you. So let's go ahead and see, can we tweak this actually to make it more interesting? What if I make it slower? Okay, so that's what we're starting with. Let's do some minor arrangement stuff. So I'm going to start off, and before I even go into song mode, I'm going to go to arranger mode, and I'm going to start adding mutes to different scenes. So right now I'm at scene 1. You can tell none of these have been selected yet. So I'm going to mute the hi-hat and the kick track. And in fact, I'm going to copy and paste this, and first I'm going to turn this basically, actually let's just turn it off. So then in the second one, this second scene now, I'm going to change this pattern to being that original one, and I'll add in the hi-hat. The third, let's have all of them. And then what I'll do is I'm going to do the fourth is just going to be our little mini outro, and we're only going to be using, the tape track for that. So I'm going to make a new tape track here. And let's go ahead and... I'm going to make that new tape track here. And let's change some of the settings on it real quick. I'm going to make it... Yeah, so it's got none of the dry level here right now. And now that we've got 4 scenes in a row, I'm just going to use the arranger mode to go 1, 2, 3, 4. And that's all that we're going to do, at least for now. Let's skip over to scene 4, and let's figure out what we're going to do for our outro with this tape track. So what I'm inclined to do is actually, let's send it, make sure it's sending a lot to the effects. Let's make it a lot longer. Let's make it 8. So that's a third encoder. Mix is going to be 0. what I'm going to do here is let's make this 4 bars, and we'll just have it start at the beginning, oops, and go all the way over here. So what this is going to do is now it's all going to just be playing. It's going to take everything out except for the tape track. And the cool part here is I'm going to add an LFO that is going to go to parameter 2, which is the speed, and I want it to slowly decrease. And in fact, maybe what we'll do is we'll just have it stay here forever. So that had the opposite effect, so let's go here. And it should, I guess it ought to be more subtle than I thought. I'm gonna parameter lock there, parameter lock considerably lower. Going to change the shape to being pretty smooth, or as smooth as it gets basically. Now, let's see, okay, so that's where that parameter lock is. I'm going to go to mixer. Oh, this always throws me off. Hit mixer again, and then I'm going to go here to the tape track, and let's just, let's decrease the volume, but increase those a lot. And we'll start decreasing the volume maybe here. And so here, let's just go ahead and start off with like 99 of the mix, and then go to 0, and let's remove that step component right there, and I'll just add a second bar here. And I'm hoping, yeah, I guess I'll probably just have to manually sort of fade this out. I just went back and edited the tape track so that way this note is an octave like the octave it originally was in. And that's just because I want to make it a little bit more, I want it to match the rest of the track before the tape track kicks in. Okay, so basically I have a condensed song here that isn't something I really love, but demonstrates a lot of stuff I wanted to show you. So in the very first pattern, we have just the pad. Second pattern, we have the pad with the hi-hats, and the pad is going to be affected by the sum of the output. Third time, we've got the pad, hi-hats, kick, and snare, and we're going to just pretend like that is like the main part of the song. So we've got this fourth one that's the outro that's supposed to make it kind of descend into chaos in a sort of unpredictable way. That sounds like, you know, a professional ending to a song or something. I don't know. Anyway, let's go ahead and hear the full playthrough now. Okay, so I hope that you learned something from this. Please let me know if you have any questions or if there's other topics you want me to cover in the future. But yeah, these are a few of the things that I've been playing around with in different contexts on my XY. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.